Hi, welcome back. We're talking about securing Windows cloud instances with Centrify, and we're focusing on deploying Centrify software and enabling MFA. In this series, we're making modular labs. So the idea is that you can learn slowly and combine them. So you can combine the one that I'm talking about right now with the previous one that we did, in which we launched an instance and bolted some credentials and enabled the jump box. But what do we need to do here? This one is quite simple. We're still using the AWS parameter store to retrieve some information. Then we go and retrieve the bits that we need, including the MSI and transformation file. Then we do the installation and do the add computer command to join Active Directory. Hopefully, when the instance is launched, ultimately it should receive all the settings to configure MFA through GPO. And we already launched quite a few machines. This is the user data scripts that we have. It corresponds to what we talked about in the blog posts. And remember that many of the things that you're doing here when you're configuring GPOs, those are one-time steps, right? Ultimately, once you get this right, you can convert it into a cloud formation or continue to use user data. And let's go ahead and do some quick testing. I have a couple of systems. I already launched a few. So the idea here is the system is accessible. I don't care if it's from outside or inside. Protecting against interactive access using MFA. So I'm just going to copy here the public IP, and we're going to try to connect. We're going to do everything right away. Only domain users have the ability to do MFA in this case. So by logging in and requesting MFA, we're testing a lot of things at the same time. So we're going to use Lisa. And what should happen here is that first and foremost, part of what we did was to rename the machine. The instance ID numbers are longer than uh, the 16 characters, so we did some truncation, so that's good. In this particular case, Lisa belongs to a group in AD. Her GPO, she's supposed to do multi-factor. And here I'm basically sending myself an SMS, and ultimately I'm going to click on the link and then press approve. That should submit the code automatically. Once we're logged in, I mean, we could most likely it's going to ask us to do the offline code. With that, you can still enforce MFA just in case the system loses communication with Centrify. But also, if we lock the station, right, we are going to have to satisfy MFA. We could actually add a grace period to that as well. Another thing that we always want to verify is Audit Trail. So the idea here is that um, any events related to MFA are going to be put in the event log, and you can see one example right here. And in this particular case, you can choose to send it to your local SIM or even use AWS CloudWatch. So the key here is this, right? And let's go back to the blog post for a second. The key here is that you can enforce multi-factor authentication, but combine it with automation, right? The key is that you should be able to launch your EC2 Windows instances and be able to do creative things like, vaulting credentials, um, enabling jump box access without the need of public interfaces. But you can also combine this with multi-factor authentication and login. In future entries, we're going to do zone mode that enables access control, privilege elevation, MFA as well, and a lot of the nice things that Centrify provides through zones. And the last one is going to be with direct audit. So I'm hoping that these videos are useful, and we'll talk later.